Hey folks, it's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. Today is Tuesday, October 10th. Hope you're doing well. And for my fellow Canadians, I hope you had a great long weekend and Thanksgiving. In this video, we're going to be discussing Canopy Growth stock. There's a bullish pattern, a bullish reversal pattern that I want to share with everybody. And I've got a target here just over $1 USD. We're going to be taking a look at CGC specifically. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Also, before we get to it, make sure to give Pow Group a follow on X, which is previously Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So again, the handle for that is @GroupPow. And again, before we get to it, I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to be very busy this next week or two. I'm going to be moving out of this condo into a new condo, bigger condo with my girlfriend. As you know, we're expecting a child here in the next few months. So we're going to be dipping into fatherhood and getting a new spot. And then I've also bought another condo. So I'm going to be renting out a couple condos. I've been painting and doing some flooring and things like that. So I'm going to be very, very busy with that. So I won't be as active with the videos, but I'll do my best. And of course, if there's any breaking news or anything like that, I'll definitely be covering it. But for those of you in the Power Group community, I already let you know, but I wanted to let everybody on YouTube, so the YouTube world, know that I may not be as active this week as I have been in the past. But don't worry, I'll be back in full force here before too long. Canopy Growth announces EU GMP certification of Kincardine cultivation facility. So this is great news. This is going to allow them to export certified medical MJ to medical markets in Europe as well as other medical MJ markets around the world. This is a very much needed certification, and with Germany set to potentially come online here in the next few months, this is right on time, right? So we know that Canopy Growth is sort of switching to that asset light model and then just cutting costs and focusing on profitability, right? Like most LPs, they learn the hard way here in Canada. And a lot of it just has to do with accessibility. There was and I've been saying that for a while now, that, like beverages and things like that, edibles, they're going to be a huge category, and I think edibles are going to be massive, but not everybody wants to go to a dispensary to buy them, right? So once we start, and we know that the MJ Act is up for review here in Canada, I would not be surprised if in the next 6 to 12 months we get some sort of regulatory changes where we can introduce it to bars and events and restaurants and things like that. But there's some major changes coming. We're almost coming up on 5 years here. On October 18th, it'll be 5 years since we legalized in Canada. Time flies. But like I said, it's 5 years. And then usually around that 5 to 10 year mark is where we start to see, this industry, any industry really, but we'll start to see, in my opinion, just like, the alcohol industry after Prohibition, it took about 10 years for it to really start to flourish, right? So I think we're going to see something similar here. The next 5 years in the MJ industry, you're not even going to be able to recognize this industry in the next few years, but definitely in the next 5 years. But like I said, this is going to be a massive industry. It's going to be huge, going to be super profitable as well. And the days of unprofitable LPs are definitely numbered. And I think Canopy Growth is going to be one of those names that offers very, very high risk, but very, very high reward. I think the reward is higher than the risk at this point. And I'm a shareholder, full disclosure. This is not financial advice or anything like that. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. You should never buy or sell anything based on anything I say or write. This is just my own thoughts and opinions. So you need to do your own research. But taking a look at the chart here, if we take a look at the daily time frame, you can see we're in a daily downtrend. We had the lower high and lower low. So if you went short here when we lost 104, that would have been a short opportunity. Just to that lower low there, you would have seen about 26%. And then to the absolute local low here, that had been about a 40% short opportunity. So this is why it's important to know what uptrends and downtrends are, right? See, here we were confirming a daily uptrend with the low, high, higher, low, and higher high. And then here we had the lower high and lower low. So again, even if you just entered there or exited there at 104 and reloaded cheaper, you could have got in at 75 cents or as low as 62 cents. None of this is a guarantee, by the way. We also had an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross that was lining up, insinuating more downside. And now we're seeing a bullish reversal pattern. So an inverse head and shoulders is a bullish reversal pattern. When we're in a downtrend and we see an IHS, that generally means that we're going to see the momentum and price action flip the other way. And then if we see a regular head and shoulders, that's at the top of an uptrend, which means a bearish reversal, right? So it's just the exact opposite. So now we're looking at this inverse head and shoulders. It hasn't formed yet. We're looking to form the potential right shoulder here. So if we do hold this neckline, if we fail to get above 80 cents resistance and we come back and we start daily consolidation, meaning if we lose the low of the day today tomorrow, if we lose 70 cents tomorrow, that just sets us up for a potential right shoulder. And we wouldn't want to dip below 66 cents or that's going to negate this head and shoulders. So again, I'm not saying this will happen. I'm saying it could happen. And right now we're about 75% of the way there. We just need the other 25%. Where we need the confirmation and the right shoulder, right? So it's all about just, taking a look at the most likely scenario and what the odds and probabilities are. And right now, the most likely scenario, in my opinion, is that we come back, we have these geopolitical tensions around the world with Israel and, heart goes out to those that are affected by that. The landscape right now from macro perspective is not the greatest. So we could see some selling pressure from that, but overall MJ has been holding up pretty well. We had multiple hundreds of percent moves off the bottom, right? If you take a look at CGC from the low to the high, there was up over 400%. So when we're up over 400%, meaning if you put $1,000 into the low there, you now got $4,000, right? Or if you put 10,000, you now get 40,000, right? So now we just pulled back 67% from that high, right? So you need to expect a massive pullback, and we actually hit that 0.786 as well. So we hit the golden pocket. We were right in there, right between the 0.618 and the 0.786. That's a common area to target for consolidation, right? So now that's a nice buying opportunity. We even dipped below the 786. So in my opinion, this area right here was a nice buying area. And then, like I said, based on, almost 500% of gains in a very, very short period of time, in a couple of weeks, you need to expect, 40% pullback. In this case, it was almost 70%. But again, it's just a buying opportunity when we get to that 0.786, in my opinion. And we dip below that, and you can see here the lower wicks as well, showing that, bulls are buying the dip. So we'll see if we lose key support there at 70 cents going into tomorrow. This is USD on the NASDAQ, and then it'll be all about 66. If we hold 66, then that's going to give us the potential for a higher low and then a higher high. Not only would we confirm the inverse head and shoulders with a higher low and a higher high, we would also confirm a daily uptrend, which is what we want to see to mark our weekly higher lows, right? We haven't confirmed a monthly uptrend as well, so we still need our monthly higher low and higher high to be confident that the bear market is over. And the more names that do so, the better. Take a look at Curaleaf, for example. If we bring up the Curaleaf chart, you can see here that if we go to the monthly, it's already in a monthly uptrend. We have I'm not sure why it's taking so long to load here. Let's see if it's loaded. There we go. We'll do it on the Neo exchange for the moment. So low, high, higher low, and higher high. We have yet to see that on CGC. So if you take a look at CGC on the monthly time frame, we have the low, high. We have no higher low yet. And how do we know that the higher low hasn't formed? We haven't lost the low of the previous monthly candle, right? So in order to give a higher low, you need to lose the low of the previous candle, but hold this low, right? So that's what constitutes a higher low. And then we'll look to break to a higher high, which would be a break of 192. But we'll just start with the daily time frame. We'll go from there. Once we confirm a daily uptrend again, and then a weekly uptrend, then we'll be confident in all of this. Looks like trading is just super slow at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there we go. Painfully slow. Let me know in the comments if anybody else is experiencing any slowness. But this is to be expected. Like I said, we were heavily overbought there on the daily time frame. You can see on the RSI we were touching on the green territory. Anything over 70 is considered overbought, and we hit 90. That's very overbought. So again, all signs are pointing to downside, right? We had lower high, lower low, daily downtrend confirmed. We had an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, and then we had the RSI extremely overbought as well, and then head towards oversold. And then again, you just take the low to the high there. You take the head to the neckline, and you move that out to the neck. And then it says we could be targeting about 103 USD here on CGC over the next week or so. So we'll be watching for a regain of that $1, and then we'll see if we can regain compliance. We know that the share consolidation proposal for 1 for 15 was approved, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. They have till mid-January to regain compliance. They could even get a 108-day extension as well. So we'll see if we can get back above $1 this time and see if we can regain compliance organically. But if we take a look here at the weekly, we're holding the 10-week moving average. So last week we closed above it, and this week we're sitting at 71 cents. So we're sitting at 73 cents right now. The 10-week moving average is at 71 cents. I want to see a continued close this week over that moving average to be confident that we're going to see some upside here in the short term. So right now, we topped out at the 50 weekly as well. That was a nice opportunity to go short as well after we confirmed the daily downtrend, EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, and heavily overbought on the daily RSI, also hitting the 50 weekly more than likely. And we had a bearish reversal candle there as well on the weekly. So all signs were pointing to a massive pullback there, which was just needed. It was healthy consolidation in my opinion. Like I said, after a 400+% move, you need to expect a sizable pullback. And then if we can get above that 50 weekly and see a candle close above it, we've got some runway till about 367, which will be the 100 weekly. And then if we take a look at the daily time frame, and if you take a look at some of our other names, right, if you take a look at like MSOS, the ETF, you can see here we already had a golden cross with the 50-day moving average below the 200-day moving average. When that crosses, it's called a golden cross. Whenever the 50 is above the 200-day moving average and they cross, it's a death cross. See what happened? Price went from, when the death cross occurred, price went from about $35 all the way down to $4. And now we're seeing the flip side of that. And like I said, I could see massive upside here into the end of the year. We have the rescheduling potential, DEA coming back at some point soon, whether or not they agree with HHS's recommendation to Schedule 3. And then we also have Florida potentially on the ballot. We know the vote for that is November 8th. We have the MJ Act review here in Canada. We have safer banking. There's a lot of catalysts right now. Germany coming online, EU GMP certification, right? And the thing is now is a lot of the issues with these LPs and these producers, even in the US, they've already ironed out the kinks, right? So right now, it's just a matter of execution. And right now, they've figured out a lot of the pressing issues. And now it's just about, putting your head down and executing. And we're starting to see more and more catalysts come. And this is going to be an explosive couple of months ahead. In my opinion, I think we're going to see some massive upside. The broader market could see a little bit more downside as well. But the broader market, like the S&P 500, looks poised for a massive end-of-year rally, in my opinion, as well. We could even potentially hit new all-time highs and see a blow-off top there. And then we would probably enter a multi-year bear market. So hopefully that was helpful. But we're seeing MSOS, we're seeing a lot of names see golden crosses, but CGC was one of the laggards. We still haven't seen a golden cross yet. We've seen the 50 and the 100-day moving average cross, which is a good sign and a precursor to a potential golden cross. But we're still very, very far away. The 50-day moving average is sitting there at 68.8 cents and the 200-day at 1.34 cents. So we're still quite a ways away from seeing those cross. So I'm thinking at least a couple of months, at least a month, maybe two, but at least several weeks before we see that golden cross occur. But like I said, this was a great buying opportunity when we got below that 0.786 retracement, down almost 70% in a matter of weeks, like I said, after seeing a massive upside of 400%, heavily overbought, daily downtrend confirming, an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. So that's the benefit of technical analysis. I did a video on Tilray as well, saying it was targeting $1.95 USD from the daily bear flag, and it hit $1.93. So it's absolute perfection. But again, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it overshoots, sometimes it undershoots, right? Sometimes it doesn't play out at all. But 80, 70, 80% of the time, these patterns usually play out, right? And the more confluence we have, the more indicators that say, we're going up from here. If there's a daily downtrend, an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, overbought on the RSI, a head and shoulders or something like that, we're probably going down. If we see a bull cross of the EMAs and a daily uptrend confirming and an inverse head and shoulders and a golden cross, well, then we're probably going to go up over the course of the next few months, right? And again, it could take a week, could take a couple days, could take a couple months, could take 6 months, right? We just don't know. But that's the thing, right? We can't predict time. But these patterns aren't predicting time. They're just predicting market shifts and market momentum, right? So hopefully that was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments below what you think. If you'd like to see anything else on the channel, let me know. I've been introducing some new formats. I did the rapid fire news this weekend. A lot of people really like those updates. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to be very busy over the next couple of weeks, but I'll do my best to continue to get these updates out regularly. I've got a couple meetings tonight with some condos, got some AGMs, some annual general meetings there. And yeah, it's just been a very, very busy couple of weeks and going to start the big move here soon. So looking forward to it though. And again, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And for those of you, for our neighbors to the south in the US, yours is coming up next month. But hope you had a great day today. And we're going to end it there. It's Rob with Pal Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. We'll see you again on the next video.